All right. So we just showed you how to put everything together in ArcSight, and then we pushed everything over to Jobber. So these are the next steps, whether you're at the house, whether you're in the car, whether you're in the backyard. Typically, you're going to do these from the car or the backyard. If it's a big commercial project, you're more than likely going to end up doing them at the house to email it over. First, we're going to pull up the client that we were just working on. For me, it was test client Turf Bros. All right, we have it pulled up here. This is what the perspective's going to look like when you're opening up Jobber from your iPad, or say you're using your laptop. The perspective that you had seen in the prior video was from the iPad app. The web browser is a little bit more user friendly. So we've got it pulled up here. You did push it to Jobber. So this is going to populate once you click on your customer, scroll down here. It's automatically going to populate under status and active. So you're going to be able to see it. You're going to click it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the title on the top. You don't always have to change this. I'm going to make it look a little bit prettier just for the sake of this video. Always going to select you as a salesperson. For me, it's going to be Jake. You're going to add your email in there. Save. One very important thing to note here is whenever you're editing an area, say you click the pencil, say say you add your email in there and you click off of it and don't actually click save, you're not going to be able to make any changes there. That ties me into the second step in the process. Anything you do in here, when you click edit, you're always going to want to click save right here. Make sure everything saves and you're not losing any progress. So as you can see, all the line items that we had went over in ArcSight are all in here. Now you're going to notice there's nothing specific about the turf product because that's something you're always going to add. And of course, it's specific to the turf that you had priced out. We're going to go add line item, type in the turf product that you had priced out for them. I like to drag it up right below the description of basically the installation process. Just give it a cleaner look to it. And I'll typically move these products around to make them basically for the order of the products to make sense. You know, you have the weed barrier, the zeolite, and you have the bender board landscape edging. I always like to add a photo here just because the more photos, the better. It allows you to basically improve your presentation so the customer can see, say when the customer's viewing the quote, they get on their iPad, their phone, computer, they can click that, pull up their sample. No other turf company is doing this in regard to presentation. We are really a step ahead of the competition in regards to tech and our presentations. So jumping back into here, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add one more line item. It's going to be easy to forget this, but you're going to type in labor warranty. Always going to add our 2-year labor warranty to this. Very important. Got to click save. Very important you add that because there's no other verbiage in here that specifies our labor warranty. So very important to include. Next step, you have all of your line items included. Everything's looking good. All the square footage is lining up. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to add these components at the bottom. I typically like to add reviews. Add the reviews in there. You can select specific ones. You don't need to get too picky with it. Add some reviews to populate on there. I'll normally add some images. Same thing goes for this product. When I added this as well as this, I have images saved to my computer, which when you get this iPad, you're going to have all the images saved on there. I'm going to preload those up for you so you'll have things you can throw in here. So for instance, for images, we're going to pull up some turf projects. Let's just use a few different examples, whichever ones you want to put in there. Again, it really helps with the presentation. All right, let's save that. We're going to pop back up here. I'm going to show you same concept. I had thrown that in pretty quickly earlier. I have all the turf samples saved up here, all the photos. So you're going to click the one that applies to the project, save it. It's in there. Perfect. So we have that in there. We have the images below. We have the reviews. We're getting pretty close to this thing being done. Again, it is really neat for the customers to be able to click here and see some of the some of the projects that we've done. Now, this part is going to be very, very crucial in the presentation process. We're going to add an introduction where we add a big photo on the front of the proposal of the quote that the customer sees, and it's essentially going to be a rendering of the area. First step, when you were walking around the backyard getting your access photos, good chances are you're going to have a couple photos in there that have some good angles of the project. I'm going to populate one of the images that I took of the access. We're going to pull it up here just to show you an example of the project area. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it into an AI software, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Gemini. When you come on, basically your Gmail, Turf Bros Gmail is going to include a basically free access for you for the pro version of Gemini. So I'm going to use that example now. So first thing you're going to want to do is you can either go into your iPad, mark up the photo. I normally like to use a third party app if I'm on my computer. So what I'll do is I'll pull that up. I have it in the bookmarks bar. So I can easily access it. Again, doing this on your iPad going to be a lot easier to just pull up the images in your gallery and edit the photo. Again, I'm on my computer now, so it's not as simple for me to do that. We're going to click here. So we have the image. We're just going to do a quick drawing. Now, you don't have to go this far doing all this, but something I have noticed with these rendering programs that you use, whether it is Chat or Gemini, the more specific you are with the prompt, the better it does. So we're going to go ahead and save that. All right, so we have Gemini pulled up. I'm going to pull up the image. I'm going to say, let's do something simple. All right, on the inside of this area, fill it in with lush artificial grass. Nothing outside this area is to include turf. Submit. Boom. We have it complete. Now, probably not the best example, given that I already have moss here and the turf just kind of looks not too good against the moss. Normally, it's going to be whatever they have, dirt or some sort of masonry surface, but this is good enough for an example. We're going to pop back over to our quote. Boom. Again, does not look like $1 million photo, but it's enough to show you the example of essentially what we can do there. We're going to scroll down. We're going to hit save. Sweet. Looks like for the most part, we have everything put together. Now, the final step in this process, we're going to hit edit here. From here, we're going to click add deposit or payment schedule. We'll say deposit only. Here in Atlanta, we do a 20% deposit, required deposit. We're going to click save. Perfect. Now we have the required deposit. So when the customer goes to click approve, it'll direct them to pay their 20% deposit. Now we have all of that put together. I'm going to show you basically what the customer sees when this gets emailed over to them. Preview as client. So say they're opening this on their phone, whatever it may be. It's going to be different, shrunken in if it is a phone, but say they are opening it on their computer. They're going to see all this information here. Looks really good. Required deposit. Got the photos, got the reviews. That all looks great. And they can click approve and pay deposit. Now I'm going to pop back over here and I'm going to show you one thing that is attached to the quote, which is really neat, is we have the ArcSight scope of work. Again, you're not always, probably rarely will ever have to show this to the customer specifically. This is mainly for the project manager. This is mainly for the crew, as this is the work order. This is a component that gets attached to the contract. So when they do move forward, we send over a contract to them, which will be a separate video. And this is going to be included on there, just essentially getting their signature that the square footage is correct, where it's going to be installed, X, Y, and Z. So this all looks good. What we're going to do from here is we're going to email it. I typically will have templates, basically, whether this is on your iPad or on your computer. I have a notes page where I have templates saved. So I'll normally delete the standard template, paste that in, something as simple as this. Hi, tester. It was a pleasure meeting with you during our appointment. Attached below is a quote for the turf installation we discussed. Please take your time reviewing the quote. Let me know if you have any questions. Just going to clean this up. If there are any changes you'd like to make, just let me know. I'll be happy to update them for you. As we discussed, essentially implying you did discuss this during the appointment, we offer several financing options. Our most popular plan is 12 months at 0% APR. If and when you're ready to move forward, just let me know and we can finalize the digital paperwork, get rolling on next steps. Currently booking about 2 weeks out. Now, again, this is just a template. So say we are in the summer months and we're booking closer to 5 weeks, or you want to keep it a little more general, 3 to 5 weeks, whatever it may be. So that's all in there. That all looks good. I'm also going to attach the scope of work, which is right here. When you're clicking send email from email quote, it's already going to have the quote attached to it. This is the quote attachment that shows them the scope of work portion of it. I'm going to edit this. Let's just say quote from Turf Bros. That looks good. We're going to send the email. Quote sent to client. Now we can pop over it here to make sure that did go through. Last communication over here on the right. You can click on kind of a view to see how it looks to the customer. Here we go, and we're good to go there. So this is a simple enough example of basically how to send a quote to a customer. Next video, I'm going to show you some alternatives, how to add options. Say that the price is over X amount and we have to add the deposit and payment schedule. The most important part of this process is putting together a quote, and we just completed that. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to go through the different variables when putting this thing together, different options, different scenarios. We'll run through that right now.